guys, how are you today? I am doing well. I am ready to make our new craft video today. I have all of my materials that I need. I'm going to be letting you know all the materials that we're going to need today for our art project. It is quite a bit. We need a paper plate to start. We need a ruler to make our straight edges. We need a hole punch, paintbrush, a pencil for tracing, white, blue, black, and yellow construction paper, yellow paint, some string or yarn, and I think that is it. Woo, a lot of materials, I know. All right, guys, go ahead and meet me back right here and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so the base of my art project today is going to be this paper plate. I am going to hole punch at the bottom 4 holes to hold our wind chimes that will be hanging down below. I'm doing this part first so I don't have to crunch into a freshly painted paper plate because we are going to soon paint this yellow. Just going to pick anywhere and space them apart pretty well. I'd say about 2 inches in between each of those. 1, 2, 3, and a last one makes 4. I'm gonna keep those 4 at the bottom the whole time. I'll know that the bottom of my plate is this way because of my holes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over so that the puffy side is face up. This is not the side that we would eat food on if we were eating at a picnic or at a barbecue. This is the side we'd be eating on. We're gonna turn it over so the puffy side is up, and we are going to get our yellow paint and a paintbrush and cover this whole paper plate, this side, with yellow paint. This is going to be our sun. Now my paper plate here is pretty, it's pretty rough texture. This is one of the Chinette paper plates that are pretty thick and have like a canvas type texture on top. If you have like a shiny birthday plate, something shiny where the paint is not going to completely cover it, or it has a design on it that you would like to properly cover, I would do a few coats of paint. You're gonna have to let this dry one time all the way, and then you'll have to go over it a few more times. A little more time consuming, but that's okay. Now when I get to my holes down below, I am not going to paint over them. I have nothing below my paper, so I'm just going to paint in between and around them. All right, guys, almost done with my sun. See some spots missing up here. Just gonna go over some spots that I see, and then I will put this aside to dry. Alrighty, this is my painted paper plate. That is ready to get put to the side and dry for a little bit. I am going to go ahead and get my yellow paper. I'll meet you right back here. My yellow paper here. I am going to make sure that I have enough space for 6 triangles that I'm going to use for sun rays on my yellow paper plate. I'm going to fold this long ways. Make sure those edges are matched up. We're gonna fold that so that it is folded in half long ways. My art teacher used to call this hot dog style. So we folded it hot dog style. Now we are going to open it back up, lay it flat, and we are now going to fold both ends inward just a little bit. There we go. When I am done tri-folding my paper, I will have it looking somewhat like this. My lighting is awful today. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. It is tri-folded, also with my hot dog fold in the middle as well. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 compartments that I can put a triangle in, making sure that they all fit on one paper. Waste not is what I like to say. So we are going to use our ruler to make a straight line on these squares here. We're making a triangle using the bottom fold as the base of our triangles. I'm going to use my ruler from one corner to the top. I'm going to make a straight line. Same over here. These do not have to be perfect. If you don't have a ruler and you don't care to make your rays from a ruler or a straight edge and you just want to free cut them, that is fine with me. I'm just kind of trying to show an example of how you could make those pretty rays without having to download a PDF or a template or anything like that. Just trying to freehand some things so we don't have to go through all of the work of getting a printed template. I have my 3 triangles. Now I'm going to keep this folded. I am not going to trace on the back. I am going to double cut, which means I'm going to hold these 2 together and cut those triangles at the same time. So every time I'm cutting one triangle, I cut 2. Scissors. Now holding it together with my fingers, I'm going to cut along the edges and cut one single strip down at the bottom. And I have 2 out of 1 template that I just made. Moving on, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Two rays. And another 2 rays. And I actually have more pieces here that I could use for more, so I am going to cut them just in case I mess up on one, or if I'd like to add more, if I feel like my son is missing something, then I can have these extras on hand just in case. Alrighty, we are all done cutting our sun rays. Now we are going to get the blue paper and we are going to start making our raindrops. Now we only had 4 holes cut for 4 strings to go through. We are going to only cut 4 raindrops. So again, I'm going to take my pencil, start at the top, down around and back up. I have a point at the top and I have a round bottom looking like a water droplet. Okay, I'm going to trace a few more of those. They don't all have to be the same size. I would actually prefer if mine were all different sizes. Okie dokie. I have my 4 traced raindrops. I'm going to cut those out now. First little raindrop. My other ones are bigger. Like I said, I wanted them different sizes. Alrighty, my last raindrop is cut. Now I'm going to show you kind of what I did for my eyeballs. We are going to make some eyes to put on our sun. I cut a little oval shape for the white background of the eye and just punched out a little black circle. So it's going to go right on top of each other like that to make a little eye on our sun. I made 2 of those. You can make them however you would like. The eyes are not a big deal. You could color them on, you can paint them on, whatever you choose. I am going to use these guys. Put those to the side, and now I'm going to cut my string, making sure that they are going to be perfect sizes or lengths for my raindrops coming down from my sun. So, just like the raindrops, I don't want these to all be the same size. I want them to all be kind of hanging at random lengths. So I am not going to measure my string. I am just going to make sure that they are not all the same size. 2. 3. And 4. All right, I have 4 strings ready to lace. Now, these are the guys that are getting laced. How on earth are they going to hang down? I don't know. Well, let's take our hole punch and go ahead and make a hole at the tip of your raindrop as far up as you can go without making a hole completely in your raindrop. Let's see if this makes sense. Now that's a pretty good hole, but I'm going to give you an example, which means I'm going to have to make another one, but I'm going to show you an example. If you go up too high, it's just going to cut your raindrop off. So you might need a little bit of help to go down below and punch where it's not going to completely ruin your raindrop. So because I ruined one of mine, I'm going to remake one. Okie dokie. And I'm gonna repunch this guy over here. I'll show you where I have stopped so it doesn't ruin my raindrop. And do the rest of them. That was very close. We're getting very close to the tip there, so hopefully you don't ruin any of your raindrops. This one we may need a little bit of parent or whatever guardian type of help with because I'm noticing as I'm crunching my hole punch, which is going to be a little more of a struggle for our smaller hands. If they're doing that, they might crunch so hard that they are crunching their raindrops. So maybe just a guiding hand just to help them with the pressure of squeezing. This is also a really great activity to help your fine motor skills with our smaller friends, like 2.5, 3, 3.5, to help them do this over and over with a bunch of different color papers. You can use the scraps for an art project. It's just really fun way to practice your grip and holding and squeezing and getting stronger with that act. So hole punches are great. Anyway, so I am going to go back, clear my area here, and we will be back to start lacing our string. So instead of going straight to the lacing of the strings for the wind chime part of our project, we are going to focus on the rays first. I forgot about that part. We are going to take a ray and some glue. We are going to glue at the bottom of the triangle. The bottom of that triangle is going to stick on our plate, on the edge of our plate like that. So let's get started and see how it goes. Okay, just some glue at the end there. I'm going to pick my first spot. Make sure all of the glue is touching the paper plate. Okie dokie. Now we're going to move on to a second sun ray. I'm going to put my sun rays right next to each other with no space in the middle. I'm kind of making the bottom edges or the bottom corners touch each other. I'll show you as soon as this gets stuck to the paper. There we go. So you can see how they're both touching. The bottom corners are both connected there at the bottom. So I'm gonna keep going around. Now when I get to the bottom, I'm not too sure I'm going to keep making my sun rays go all the way around. If they're getting in the way of the wind chimes, I don't think I want to put some sun rays down there, so we'll see when we get all the way down there. Alrighty, so I have 5 sun rays on my sun, and I think I'm going to stop there. They're both on each side are stopping right before we get to the hole punch, which is exactly what I was expecting. exactly what I was wanting, because when we hang down those wind chimes, they're not going to look very pretty, or they're not going to fly as pretty, because these rays, if we were to put them down here, they would be getting stuck. But that's all up to you. You can keep going with the rays. I know we have plenty more cut, or you can just make another craft after you're done. All right, so from here, I think is when we can glue on our eyeballs, or paint them, or color them, whatever you chose to do. I'm gonna gather my white and black over here. Ready for some eyeball gluing. I am done with my eyes. I'll give you a little peek here. Those are my eyes on my sun. Now I'm going to move my scraps out of the way, and I'm going to start with my raindrops coming down. I brought these closer to me, ready to start tying them, lacing them, getting ready for them to hang from our sun. Now my worry is that these are going to rip. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I laced my string through my hole. Now, even with mine, it's looking a little bendy, so I don't want it to tear at the end. I'm going to be as gentle as I can. Tie this knot. Cut off the excess parts there. Okay, so now we have one of our little raindrops hanging. I'm going to put this through my hole on my sun, see how it goes. Now, as I'm about to hold this up, I'm realizing my son does not have a smile. I'm gonna have to do that at the end. Here is his little raindrop hanging down. We are going to keep adding those. Now that one's pretty long. I'm going to make sure that none of the rest of mine are as long as that one. You know, what also works for this art project is gluing these to the string. You could simply put a dot of glue at the back of your raindrop and stick the thread on there, let it kind of soak in the glue to stick. And you can do the same for the sun. If you don't have a hole punch, you can put some dots of glue on the back of it and they will stick just fine. Like I said, that hole punch is a really fun activity to do with smaller friends, so hopefully some of you guys practice that at home. Try to double knot this. Don't pull your string too hard or it will crush your paper there. And I am trimming off any of the extra thread we got going on so it's not a distraction from my raindrop. Hi, Louie. There's my cat. He's being sneaky right under the camera. Do you see him? All right, we have our second hanging little raindrop. Now on to the third one. Last one. All right, guys, I am lacing my last one. I can't wait to show you what my finished sun looks like. I'm going to finish making his little face here, and then I will show you my finished product. All right, friends, here is my sun with his little raindrops hanging down. Let's focus, there we go. You can see it a little better now. All of those little raindrops hanging down. Looking pretty good. All right. I hope that you had such a fun time making this little sun. I hope that you find another cool place to hang this art project. I'm gonna put mine here in the classroom so you can see it tomorrow when I record my next video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.